Welcome to How to Cook That. I'm Ann Reardon. Happy Easter for Sunday. Today I'm making an Easter cake. I've got lots of videos on how to make chocolate Easter eggs in all different shapes and sizes with all different fillings and decorations, and I'll put a link to all those below. But heaps of people have been asking for an Easter cake. So let's start with the cake recipe. Put flour, sugar, baking powder and gelatin into a bowl and whisk them together and make a hole in the middle. Then add the oil, egg yolks and water and set that aside. Add the cream of tartar to the egg whites and whip them up. Mix the first bowl of ingredients and then add the two bowls together and fold in those egg whites. Pour that mixture into two 8-inch cake tins. Now for all those recipe quantities, head on over to howtocookthat.net and there's a link to the recipe below. Then make another batch of that cake mixture and colour half of it blue or whatever colour you want and leave the other half plain and bake those in 8-inch round cake tins too. Once your cakes are baked and cooled, cut off the top and the underneath to get rid of any golden brown bits, and then put something round on top. You could use a plate here and just cut around it, taking off the very edge of the cake. Now with the blue layer, cut a round circle about the size of a large coffee cup out of one side. And then out of this moon-shaped bit, cut yourself 3 little circles just using a circle cookie cutter. Use the same shaped cutter to cut a hole in the centre of each of your plain cakes. Now place the first layer of cake onto a turntable and add one of those blue circles into the middle. Pipe a little bit of blue buttercream onto the blue and put another blue circle on top. Then spread some plain coloured buttercream around the edge. Now the recipe for the buttercream is on the How to Cook That website as well, and you can flavour it however you like. Lemon is nice. This time I've used musk flavouring. Apparently Sweden has put Australian musk sticks in its disgusting food museum along with Vegemite and Widgety Grubs. Now I wouldn't put Vegemite or Widgety Grubs in a cake, but musk sticks I really like, and using musk flavouring makes this buttercream taste just like them. Add the next layer of cake on top, put a bit more blue buttercream in the middle and then the next blue circle, and then place the medium circle that you used to cut the blue circle out over the top and cut around that using a knife so that you can see where the circle shape is, and then use your knife to cut down about halfway into that plain layer there and remove some of that cake so you have an indent. Add some buttercream around that indent, trim off the blue cake so that it's level, and then just pipe a little bit of blue in the centre there, and now place your medium blue circle of cake on top in the middle. Add more buttercream, spreading it everywhere except for the very centre, and then put the final layer of cake on top. Add a little bit more blue buttercream into the middle and your last circle into the little hole. Cover the whole thing in buttercream. I like to pile heaps on top and then spread it out and then down around the sides. Once it's roughly covered, grab a scraper and holding it on an angle close to the cake, smooth out the sides. Add more buttercream anywhere that you have gaps and smooth it out again, and then flatten out the top. Refrigerate your cake for at least an hour and then take an icing comb, push it into the frosting and turn the cake so that you end up with lines out of the frosting. Clean the icing comb in hot water as you go and continue all the way around your cake. Put the rest of your buttercream into 4 bowls and keep a little bit of plain cream aside, and colour the rest of the frosting using gel food colouring in whatever 4 colours you like. Now place each of those into a piping bag, or if you don't have a piping bag, you can just use a Ziploc bag with a little corner cut off. Pipe the coloured frosting into the lines on the cake, continuing in the same colour order all the way down to the bottom of the cake. Now some spots look good like this, and other ones you can see there's a little bit of cream coloured frosting missing. This is what I said to keep the extra cream coloured frosting for, and just pipe a little bit into any gaps that you have. Then you want to take your scraper and gently drag it around the cake. This plastic scraper is not ideal for this. It's leaving it quite rough and dragging some of the colour out of the lines. So let's just swap to a warmed metal one and give that a try. That's much better. Look at that. That's much smoother than before. I should have used that one straight away. It's not going to be quite perfect, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as it tastes good. Put the leftover purple into a piping bag and pipe up and down as you turn the cake to make a frill around the bottom. Now, if you don't have a piping tip like this, you can take a Ziploc bag and put 2 layers of sticky tape on it and cut off a tiny slither off the corner and use that to pipe instead. Add a smaller frill of orange over the top in the same way, just going all the way around. And then put all your leftover frosting in stripes onto some plastic wrap and roll it up so it makes like a frosting sausage. Twist both ends and then cut one off nice and close to the sausage and put it into a piping bag. Pipe swirls on top of your cake, and again, if you don't have a star-shaped tip like this, it's okay. You can make that out of a bag too. I've got a whole video called Piping Bag Hacks. If you search Piping Bag Hacks Reardon, R-E-A-R-D-O-N, you'll find that video and that shows you how to do that. Melt some white chocolate and put that into a bag and pipe small amounts around the edge, allowing it to drip down. The more chocolate you add, the bigger your drips will be. So just let it drip and then add more on top if you want it to be bigger. Add sprinkles onto those drips before they set. Just adding a little one there. And then put some more sprinkles down the bottom. And now we need to make a nest to put on top. Take some foil and scrunch it up loosely into the size of the nest you want. Don't make this really compact. We just want it loose so that we can compact it later to get it out. Put a piece of marble or corian in the freezer, and then when it's really cold, drizzle chocolate over it, and this will shock freeze the chocolate. If you don't have something that's really cold like this, then I have another video showing you a different way to make chocolate nests, and I'll link you to that one below as well. Lots of links today. Lift up the chocolate, let it soften a little bit, and then bend it around the foil, and continue to make pieces of crisscross chocolate and add it over the top of the nest. You realize just how many little bits go into a nest and how busy birds must be if they've got to go get one little stick at a time to make this. It's pretty incredible. Drizzle a bit of chocolate over the top to help hold all those bits together, and then leave that to set. Once it's set, flip it over and squeeze the foil to compact it and make it smaller so that you can lift it out of the center of the nest. Pick that up and add that into the center of the cake, and then just get any little leftover bits of chocolate and add them on like loose twigs on top. And then you can put some candy eggs into the nest. Now you might need some spare of these to refill them if people eat them before you cut the cake, like they like to do in my house. And then when you cut your cake, there's a cross on the inside. If you're not sure why I've put a cross in the middle of my cake for Easter, then I encourage you to go to an Easter church service this Sunday and join in the celebrations to find out about that, or watch one of these videos explaining what Easter's all about. Make it a great week, and I'll see you on Friday.